might be that the person said, and you just want to compliment that they made a good argument or they had a good idea. You could say, that's a good point. These next 3 phrases are going to help you shift the topic of conversation a bit more naturally, or kind of transition the conversation to what you want to talk about or what you're thinking about more naturally than just saying, okay, this is what we're talking about now. So the first phrase is by the way.
By the way.
This phrase can be used if someone brings up something that you want to talk about more, and you might say, oh, by the way, let's talk about that. Or it can be just kind of like if you have something random pop into your head that you want to talk about. For instance, maybe you and your friend are just having a conversation about, the weather, your families, whatever it might be. And you think about an old friend. You might say, oh, by the way, have you talked to Sarah recently? Or by the way, what has Sarah been up to? So you're introducing your friend Sarah into this conversation by using the phrase, by the way. And a lot of times, if you just have extra information that the person should know, we might say, oh, by the way, make sure you don't use that computer. It's broken, or whatever it might be. You're just letting them know extra information or changing the topic with this phrase. A phrase that's pretty similar but can help you kind of build on to the conversation that's going on is speaking of. Speaking of that.
Speaking of that.
So maybe someone you're talking with, again, in the same conversation, says, oh, and then I was talking to Sarah and she said, and you said, oh, speaking of Sarah, how has she been? Or speaking of Sarah, how's her mom? Whatever it might be. It means you're adding on to what they just brought up in the conversation. And sometimes we just use the phrase, that reminds me.
That reminds me.
That reminds me I should call Sarah soon. Or that reminds me I haven't seen Sarah in a long time. So you're just saying like, this conversation reminds me that I should do something. You're usually saying this when you have to take an action. Our next phrases are going to be super useful because sometimes as an English learner, you're not ready to give your answer to a question or your opinion right away. So this is going to kind of buy you some time, to give you some extra time to think, but to not make it awkward, to make it more natural. This is how a native speaker would actually get more time to answer a question. The first phrase is, let me think.
Let me think.
Let me think about this. That means you don't know your answer right away or your opinion even. Someone might say, hey, what do you want for dinner? You say, oh, let me think for a moment. So it's just, again, a really natural phrase that gives you a little bit of time, but lets the person know you're not just awkwardly staring at them or being quiet. Sometimes if you're busy or you need to find information for someone, if they've asked a question, you might say, oh, give me a second.
Give me a second.
Hey, do you know their phone number? Give me a second, I'll go look. It just means I don't have it right in my head. We say off the top of my head, but I can find it for you. Just give me a second or give me a sec. Maybe you want to say some information to someone